Therefore, we would like to welcome you all to this very special day. Once again, we are going to be discussing some very important topics and topics that are of great concern today. And of course, about providing housing for all by the year 2022. Well, last evening, I hope everybody found very informative. We had lots of panelists joining us. We had lots of discussions happening. A lot of people shared their valued views with us. And today is going to be one such day. We're going to undertake some more interesting topics, and we're going to have some interesting discussions and a panelist sharing their vision, their insights on those specific topics, of course. Once again, before we move on, let me introduce myself. I'm going to be your host once again for the day, Sonali Gupta. And once again, it's a moment of pride, privilege for us to be welcoming each one of you.
Some innovative construction technologies and some outdoor competing materials also, that is not too much. Firstly, mostly on LNT. We have been at the forefront for many years, leading global landmarks. As you can see, these are constructions in Dubai, India, that's the new Bombay terminal as well as the Wankhede Stadium. This is what we currently do in L&T Realty. We have big residential projects in Bombay. What you can see in Powai, Parel. We have Chennai, which Julie initiated yesterday. Large commercial projects also in Delhi. Seawards is also another area near New Bombay. And Chandigarh. Two retail big developments in Chandigarh and Seawards. Well, when we talk about innovative construction technology, the first 2-3 slides are used mostly by most of the construction companies today. And then later on I come to precast, which is what we have deployed in a very big manner. Now this is one of our very big high-rise development. It's about 240 meters high. And you can see at all the stages we use modern construction formula.
Thank you for inviting me. My talk today is on innovative construction technologies and the outlook of building material. I've taken a slightly different skew from my colleague from LT, although it's interesting to note that both our presentations have some similarities to them. Just quickly, without doing an advert about my own company, I think it's just important to give you a perspective about where we come from. The Leighton Group is the world's largest construction company in the world, with an annual turnover of about $50 billion, working over all parts of the world. And it gives us a unique perspective about different techniques of construction that we do in different parts of our business and how we bring that into our Indian business.
I would like to speak on something, how to speed up. I mean, I've been focusing basically what are the constraints when we are constructing any particular high-rise tower nowadays. What are the difficulties we face on site and what we can do to speed up the construction. So what I'm trying to say is now we have divided the whole project into three major components: structural work, finishing works and the miscellaneous works. For structural works to speed up, we need to make sure that the type of formwork we use it, or the reinforcement we use it, or the way we pump the concrete, we are using the latest technology available today in the world. Right now, still many of the projects are using couple of systems, which is
So good morning to all. This is the Slum Rehabilitation Authority. I am the CEO of the SRA in short, the Mumbai. Yeah, go on. So welcome, sir. The background of this scheme is that pre-independence, since the British times, the Mumbai was the only place of getting a job, and all the people from the corner of our country, they used to come to Mumbai and getting a job somewhere. So since long, there is a tradition, there is a custom in Mumbai to live in the slum and so as to have the construct the slum. Next. So the approach one, how to deal with the slum, was started in 1950 and 70. So the approach one was that to get vacated the land and try to control the influx of the migrant gathering.
Actually, I was on a different mission to Delhi, and when I came to know that this function was taking place here, I thanked Mr. Ashok Patni, the pioneer of Redco in Rajasthan, who had invited me to share a few thoughts. I'm not having any presentation or anything to share with you on slides, but I'll share a few thoughts with you. I think the subject is as clear to all that we are discussing something known as housing for all. And the government of Rajasthan is doing a lot of efforts in making an affordable housing program to be launched, which they have launched last year, and the present government is also pursuing it with full vigor, that how to provide housing to one and all. There are certain challenges which I would like to point out here. Whenever we discuss the statistics and data about housing, we find that we are short of so many houses. We have so many builders and developers ready to produce. We have so many buyers ready to take it, but still we are short. So somewhere in the entire cycle, we are not able to address the need to convert these thoughts into actions. There are policies by the government, there are policies by Government of India, state government, but still these policies are not taking the actual shape on the ground in the desired time frame. So my request to the government here on this forum is that we should devise certain systems in which these policies are able to convert themselves into real-time action within a stipulated time frame. In affordable housing, we have seen some experiments in Rajasthan, and we have found that there is a lot of challenge which we have to face regarding the land locations of the affordable housing. First of all, the mindset has to change. When we say that it is affordable housing, we consider that the land can be given at a far-off place. And that is what is becoming a big hindrance for the developers to take up the land and produce affordable housing. Because even the LIG group and the EWS group is not interested to move out of cities and take those spaces. So the government should come with a policy that affordable housing means sense only when it is provided in somewhere in the central core of the city, in the main downtown or nearby, or it has to be supported with good transportation facilities. Just by creating a housing somewhere is not going to result into faster development of this, and when there will be lack of demand, builders will not be coming and developers will not be coming and taking up that.
Conference,
हम सबके मध्य विराजमान आदरणीय सुनील मंत्री जी, आदरणीय नवीन रहेजा साहब, एन.के. गुप्ता साहब, देशमुख जी, सुदर्शन झबर जी, अन्य सभी पदाधिकारीगण और कॉन्फ्रेंस में उपस्थित देश भर से रियल एस्टेट में काम करने वाले आए हमारे भाई और बहनों, आज निश्चित रूप से मैं इस अवसर पर आप सबके मध्य अपने आप को पाकर बहुत ही प्रसन्नता का अनुभव कर रहा हूँ। जब रहेजा जी और मंत्री जी मेरे पास आए थे, उस दिन यह संभव नहीं लग रहा था कि मैं आप सबके बीच में उपस्थित हो पाऊंगा, लेकिन आपकी भी इच्छा थी और मेरी भी इच्छा थी, तो परिस्थितियां ऐसी बन गई कि मैं आप सबके दर्शन करने का यह सौभाग्य अपने जीवन में उपलब्ध कर पा रहा हूँ। और इसके लिए मैं सभी पदाधिकारियों को हृदय से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। हमारा देश बड़ी जनसंख्या वाला देश है। रोजगार का सृजन हमारी सबसे बड़ी चुनौती है। देश को आगे बढ़ाना, विकास से जोड़ना, आम गरीब आदमी के जीवन स्तर में बदलाव लाना, यह सरकार के साथ साथ हम सब लोगों की जवाबदारी भी है। और मुझे प्रसन्नता है कि नई सरकार बनने के बाद प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की कार्यपद्धति और उनके दृढ़ संकल्प के कारण सारे देश में इस दिशा में काफी उत्साह बढ़ा है और एक नई आशा का संचार हुआ है। और मुझे इस बात की भी प्रसन्नता है कि जहां एक और हमारा समूचा देश अलग अलग सेक्टर में काम करने वाले लोग विकास में अपना योगदान देने के लिए उत्साह से लबरेज हैं, वहीं दूसरी ओर अगर हम देखेंगे तो मैं भी 3 दिन से ऑस्ट्रेलिया में था। G20 देशों का रोजगार मंत्रियों का सम्मेलन था। ऐसा कोई देश नहीं था जिस देश में नई सरकार और हिंदुस्तान के प्रति उत्साह न हो। हर आदमी किसी भी कंट्री का हो, चाहे वो अफसर हो, चाहे वो मिनिस्टर हो, सभी लोग हिंदुस्तान की तरफ बहुत ही आशा भरी नजरों से देख रहे हैं। देश के विकास में रियल एस्टेट क्षेत्र का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। रियल एस्टेट का क्षेत्र एक ओर तो आम आदमी को रहने के लिए घर उपलब्ध कराने के लिए काम करता है, दूसरी ओर देखें तो जो हमारी सबसे बड़ी चुनौती रोजगार की है, उस चुनौती को स्वीकार करके उसका सामना करते हुए अधिक से अधिक रोजगार सृजन में भी अपना योगदान देता है। देश की ग्रोथ बढ़ाने में भी रियल एस्टेट का महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है।
Thanks. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks to the NEDCO committee for giving me this opportunity to discuss this very important issue of housing for all people. My profession as a builder, I'm not a technical expert, so I don't have any presentation. I would like to discuss some of the important issues and the suggestions from the builders committee.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but we would just like to make a few announcements. One, I would request everybody to kindly settle down. This is a request we've got from backstage, that there's too much movement in the room. And secondly, I would request all our guests to please put their cell phones on silent mode. We can hear the phone ringing and it disturbs the presentation. I would request everybody to please put their cell phones on silent mode now. Thank you so much.
Since yesterday we have discussed a lot regarding the affordable housing. There have been a lot of schemes which were provided by the ministers which were present yesterday. A lot of good initiatives, a lot of good sentiments. There is a lot of, we can say, improvement from the previous processes. We have to build a lot of houses. We said that we have to provide $3 trillion or with a lot of money, a lot of houses, a lot of scope of improvements. And the government is already taking a lot of a keen interest in improving the procedures, but we also have to see the previous benchmarks which were already existing in the market, and already the problems we are facing. Real estate industry, if we see in terms of GDP, it is the second number after agriculture. There are 250 ancillary industries.
Good morning, everyone. As I understand, this session is about labor, both in terms of their training as well as their welfare. And I'd like to touch upon both these issues. I am here on behalf of the RICS School of Built Environment in Amity University. We are a department in Amity University. And as you know, RICS is a 150-year-old organization which is founded with the main objective of bringing in ethics and standards into the construction industry. So we offer 3 programs of MBAs. This is by way of skill development. We offer 3 programs of MBAs for the first time in real estate and infrastructure management and construction project management, as well as in construction economics and quantity surveying. We also have 2 BBAs in these subjects, and we are just about a year and a half old, and we are right now at the strength of about 450 students and about 25 permanent faculty members. And we function from Amity University. The objective of setting up the school was to professionalize the construction industry and to train people in the construction industry. So I come from the segment of training.
Speak to you, and it is an honor on behalf of the Chairman and the President of National Youth Development Council that consequent to the decision to make NAREDCO the tool which will change the entire country through a process called SEVAK, Project SEVAK. The Chief Election Commissioner, former S.Y. Qureshi, announced it some time back, and we have adopted it. What it means, ladies and gentlemen, is that from now onwards, the state councils of the NAREDCO, when I say NAREDCO, I say in the larger sense of the entire industry, would be working with the government in order to ensure that both the cess, educational cess, whatever amount there is, in addition to that, what we can contribute, we shall be training these people in addition to what we are doing in Haryana for ethical force of marketing, which has touched already over 1,000 strength. Now this, a new chapter is being added for SEVAK, plumbers, electricians, masons, carpenters, and all those people who are building these great buildings would be now covered through our projects. Our developers would be working with us, and we will be able to ensure that our men, women labor or the men labor of the entire industry would be in a position to be certified.
94 to 96, 99 was a very lean period. It started to kick off a little bit in the main metro cities in the year 1999, which could not be visualized by many. And slowly more entrants came across in the year 2002. And 2004 onwards till almost 2012. That was an era when it is called as the developers or the people who were in this industry into real estate, maybe in construction or in lands, had the lady luck with them, and were told that you were born with a golden spoon in your at the time of the birth. And that is what should be seen across by the upswing of the real estate market. Thank you, sir. Basically, you see, marketing is a very tough subject, and we have not been able to use the correct kind of marketing tools which are required in day-to-day marketing today. I am representing an association which is National Association of Realtors India, having a strength of about 30,000 members with us. And this is the apex body of National Association of Realtors Global, who have a membership strength of 1.2 million. So that is a kind of, change which we are immersing in India too. National Association of Realtors is basically are trying to put all members together who are stakeholders in the real estate industry. And we wish that we impart and we have and we need to follow this standard practices which are very essentially required. Transparency is one more aspect which has to be looked into. And of course, the basic mantra is networking.
All friends of Loretco, ladies and gentlemen, fellow panelists. First and foremost, I'm actually very privileged to be here, and the fact that Loretco has selected a subject like sales and marketing trends is rather, I would say, a new trend in the conferences that go on. Because this is a much maligned subject and it is always put in the background. But as we all know here, without sales and marketing, I don't think any of us would be able to proceed further. Even if you make the most wonderful edifices, wonderful apartments and townships, whether it's affordable housing or whether it's super luxury housing. But without this, I don't think we can get ahead. So congratulations to Loretco for selecting this topic. I have 6 points that I'd like to address here. What are the trends in the next 5 years?
How many inventory is coming, how much of business is there, what type of people move there. We have to get go through the complete research, only then we have to take decision. Because there is a lot total migration from the small town to big town is there. But their affordability is not as much as what A-class cities are already having. So that is why we have to what type of people will join us and what type of category we have to consider accordingly. You see that what we are deciding, if you are considering 3-bed, I am also considering 3-bed, and that gentleman is also here. We are on the same board. But that research is first part which we have to take decision. And secondly, today you see this Tata has launched their portal for the selling of this housing, and they have sold now approximately 700 houses on the portal only, without showing anything and without all the practical visit.
So that is where when we talk about both the things go together, about